Hi there, welcome back. Just a quick chatty vlog today, really. I haven't done an upload for a week because I missed the weekend because I was busy. Um, Not that I'm sure anyone really noticed, but anyway, so I thought I'd just come on today, have a chat about a few things, what I've been doing, and try and get myself back on track, really. I guess I've been a little bit despondent with YouTube because I've been watching a lot of other people that tell you how to do well on YouTube. And they all seem to be saying that, views are down, engagement's down, etc., etc. And I've really noticed that as a tiny, insignificant channel. I don't expect to get much at the minute, but yeah, views are really low anyway. So I've got to get myself re-energized about it because, as I said in my last vlog, I am really loving doing YouTube. Um, I think sometimes I feel like, oh God, have I already exhausted my list of things I've got to talk about? But then the creators that I follow, if I'm honest, all content is kind of repeats over, doesn't it, a little bit? And it's, if you're in a niche, you talk about the same thing, and I never get bored with it. So anyway, as you can see, I've been a little bit in my head and overthinking things, but on that subject, I am also trying to continue my, my mission to live well, to be content, to do the best for me. And certainly doing different creative outlets is really helpful, and YouTube's one of those. So shut up, Elsa, stop overthinking is what I've got to say. So what, I'm just looking at my notes. What have I been up to? What have I been up to? So, I mean, on the subject of living well, obviously I talk a lot about eating and healthy eating and being, mindful, fitness, all that sort of stuff. But another sort of aspect of living well is obviously, the whole holistic picture of your life. And one of those things is, challenging yourself and being social and stretching yourself into things that maybe you find difficult. So this past weekend, I did something like that. Now, this might sound ridiculous to some people, but I had some very good friends over for lunch. My good friend, her husband, and her two children. And now I've known Claire for over 20 years. We go out a lot. She's been around here before many times. I've been to her house many times. But something that I really, really struggle with because of just confidence and I don't know what, is entertaining. I find it incredibly hard. And it's been a long-standing joke between us that I have never had her and her husband over for lunch or dinner because I just get absolutely consumed by this kind of fear. And I kind of write it off as, oh, I'm worried about my food, about cooking. But it's not even that, because I do find it very stressful when you cook for people, the kind of timing aspect of it, getting everything to the table at the right time and all that stuff. But it's not even that. I'm relatively confident in my cooking. I think it's just that I have always struggled with this thing of, oh, people aren't going to have fun. I don't know how to entertain. People are going to be bored. They'll be fed up. It'll all be a disaster. And I kind of don't even really know where that's come from. I mean, I think I didn't grow up in a very entertainy type household. We really only had close family round. My parents weren't big entertainers. But I don't even know if it's that. But anyway, I've been trying to stretch myself this year with different things, to get out of my comfort zone. So I said to Claire, I said, right, that is it. You are coming over. And it's not helped by the fact her husband is an incredibly good cook and is one of these people that goes really, he really goes all out when you go around. But actually, me and him are quite similar. We both overthink, and I can see that in him. Anyway, I obviously had a week of panicking beforehand, thinking, what am I going to cook? How am I going to cope? It'll be a disaster. I'm so nervous. And this is so silly. Claire's one of my oldest friends. And Actually, do you know what? It was lovely. I had a really nice time. They sort of were, it was one of those times they came round. It was very relaxed. It's very casual. Um, in fact, they sort of ended up sort of staying and thinking, oh my gosh, we've been here so long. I didn't realise how the time had flown. I made a very nice, did all vegan, even though they're not vegan, but they understood that, and I think they enjoyed the food. I do think they really enjoyed it. I made like a Moroccan style tagine with aubergine and chickpeas and butternut squash, and all that sort of flatbreads and hummus and a Moroccan type rice with like dried fruits and pistachios and things in. It was absolutely lovely. And then I actually made a dessert. Now, I do not enjoy baking because it's too precise, it's too fraught with the concept it could be all undercooked and disastrous inside. But I stretched myself and I made, I'll insert a picture actually. I made an apple frangipani tart, all vegan, and it was absolutely delicious. I was really quite impressed at myself because, as I say, I'm not a baker. I like to make main meals and things like that. I like cooking where you can chuck a bit in, taste it as you go, throw a bit more stuff in. And of course, you can't do that with baking. Anyway, I had to specifically purchase a tart tin because I didn't even have one. Anyway, I was quite pleased. It went down well. And do you know what? I ended the day and the weekend feeling like so much, like so proud of myself. And it was something so stupid, but something that's always like held me back, that confidence of thinking that people will enjoy coming to my home, or that I'm good enough, or that they're going to have a good enough time. Anyway, it really did me good. So, treating ourselves well and well-being is a whole, it's a whole rounded experience. It's, we ate really well together. We had fun. Obviously, it went well. But even if the food hadn't been great, I don't think that would have spoiled it. And yeah, I just think it's always good to stretch yourself and to do new things, even if they might seem little things to other people. But if it's something you've struggled with, it's like when as I say, I joined last year, I joined a choir because I love to sing and I wanted to do something more social with different people. And it's been so wonderful and enriching for me. So, yeah, so that's what I did at the weekend. I mean, tell me some people are some of those people that just have an open door. They have people around all the time. They don't find it problematic. I've always found it just, I don't know. I get myself crippled with self-doubt, I guess. Anyway, it went really well. It was lovely. I had such a nice time. So what else have I been up to? I've been to the gym, going to the gym. Again, on the subject of looking after yourselves, last week I find that I have a bit of a menopausal ups and downs. I think I have like almost like a menstrual cycle. Sorry, we've gone completely off. We've gone from puddings to menstrual cycles. I do apologise. I almost have like a cycle, but I'm in menopause. But I have a certain time every few weeks where I just feel exhausted, like I can barely hold my eyes open. And I was like that at the end of last week. And that might have been a bit of stress about the weekend coming up as well. So Friday, I would normally have gone to the gym. I normally go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I was so shattered. I thought, listen to your body. You're not going to achieve anything at the gym. It's actually going to probably be detrimental. So I took the day off, just rested, had my nice weekend. And then yesterday when I went back to the gym, I actually felt so energized. Probably because I felt like I'd got past that exhaustion and also I'd had a rest. So I had a good time at the gym. And again, I'll pop a little picture of me in here being very silly, trying to do a muscle pose in the changing room afterwards. But I'm really enjoying the gym. I just find it's such a good mental health outlet for me. It just helps me feel chilled. It's me time. I feel like I'm indulging myself in something that's good for me, if you like. Not indulging, that's the wrong word, but I go there, I take my time, and it's going to be hard to allow time for yourself, can't it? And just actually focus on you. So that's going really well. Incidentally, I don't know if I've mentioned, but I might have done. I've been taking, since about May or June, I've been taking creatine. Now, not really for exercise, although I am conscious I want to build some muscle mass because I probably lost a lot when I lost weight and with menopause. But also, creatine is meant to be quite useful for brain function, especially during menopause age. And I can't honestly tell you if I've noticed a difference or not. Um, I have definitely made progress in the gym, but I may have made that progress without it. So I don't know. I don't think I've noticed a difference in my brain fog. But anyway, I finally ran out of the one I'd been using. I'm having the creatine monohydrate, I think it is, that's the recommended one. And I have it as a powder, which I put in my morning protein smoothie. And anyway, so it was time to get some new one, and I bought the one that I'd seen people talk about that was more recommended, which is it's the Creapure. That's not the brand name, but it's Creapure it's a made by a manufacturer in Germany where it's guaranteed as, like, the purest creatine monohydrate powder. It's tested independently. It might, it's got potentially less fillers and all that other stuff that you don't always know what's in it. Anyway, I started taking that. Who knows if I'll see more of a difference. But I wonder if any of you are taking creatine. It seems to be very, very much being promoted at the minute. But I've listened to a lot of people talk about it on podcasts, nutritionists, sports scientists, etc. And it is one of the most researched supplements. And in fact, I listened to a Radio 4 podcast the other day. It's that show called Sliced Bread, where they look into different products and different things, and the doctor and people they had on there seemed to say, it's actually a really beneficial supplement to take. It's one of the few supplements that a lot of people agree is quite good. So I'm trying it. As I say, it could be helping me in the gym, it might not be, but unless I did 6 months without it as a comparison, I wouldn't know, because the time I was in the gym before taking creatine, I was making progress, but I hadn't been there that long, so it was difficult. Anyway, I'm persevering with it, and we'll see where we go. Who knows? Maybe I'll be some muscle-bound monster in a year. I doubt it. Anyway, let me just look at my notes. What else have I been doing? Oh yeah, so my monthly challenge, which for October is to use the phone less, essentially, and also polish up my French in advance of going to Paris. So phone use is going pretty well. I would say, pretty much every evening not used the phone in bed at all, which is great. I've been reading. I got through 2 books in 10 days, and I'm on to a 3rd book now, which I hadn't read that much for ages. In the daytime, I'm being pretty good. It's really hard still, though. Even I noticed yesterday, like this, if I'm a bit distracted or a bit worried or there's a lot going on, I feel that twitch to touch the phone and to look at stuff. And obviously you can't live without your phone. In my banking apps on the phone, you need to look at a map. If you need to, so much stuff you have to book is on apps. So I am using the phone, but I would say that I actually took screenshots at the beginning of the month, and then last Monday, and then yesterday. Every week I get the report comes up on my phone usage, and I've reduced my weekly phone time by more than half, which is pretty good, actually. I guess for 2 weeks I should give myself a pat on the back. So it's a work in progress, but it's definitely getting there. It's definitely improving, and I would say that I'm noticing the benefits. I'm not as sort of feeling dizzy and nauseated by the phone. I'm not as twitchy with it. I am twitchy still for something to reach for. That hasn't broken yet, but I'm not reaching for the phone. Also, I'm so tired at the minute as well with my kind of middle-agedness, but I notice at nighttime when I read my book, or sometimes I listen to an audio book in bed, I get really tired. I do drop off to sleep, and I think possibly I'm going to sleep better because I'm not got the flashing images in my mind of looking at the phone. So it's good. And with the French, I'm doing quite well. I've been doing some French every day. I've been listening to podcasts, watching some French content on YouTube, and I actually bought myself from the charity shop, I found a novel in French. So I'm reading that, and actually I'm quite impressed with myself. I'm managing, it's like a kind of a murder mystery type book. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's quite a chunky book, actually. I sort of had just picked it up because I knew the author. I'd seen the author, Joel Dicker. And then I looked at it, I thought, oh my God, there's actually like loads of pages in this. But anyway, I'm plugging along with it. It's a good book. I'm trying to also get, I can get hyper focused on things. And so I'm trying to just read the book and enjoy it and not stop and look up every word that I don't know, because I'm getting the context, I'm getting the gist. And that seems to be the recommended way to improve more quickly, because I can get so bogged down in grammar rules and things, because I'm a rule follower. I like to know everything's correct, and I let that, well, I've said it in my last video, I think, let the perfect be the enemy of good, of done, or whatever it is. Anyway, I'm really enjoying that. And again, it's another thing that it makes me feel good about myself. I enjoy learning. I enjoy stretching my mind. It's always good when you succeed at something, you do well at it. And, I can see that I'm doing quite well. So I'm really loving it. And I can't wait to go to Paris. I haven't been for years. And I love France. I love Paris. It's just, I'd love to maybe go and spend some time living there again one day. I did live in France for a little while, many years ago, for about a year. But that's another story. So, that's about it. I'm going to go off now and make a very nice courgette soup, which I might take a little clip of and show you, insert here. I'm going to make courgette soup for lunch, which is very delicious, because it's getting cold and I fancy a nice cozy soup. And I'm going to try and maybe, I don't know, I'm trying to get my nerve up to do a bit of vlogging out and about in London, show you some things, show you some places I go. I always feel a bit embarrassed, but I'll give it a whirl. So you might see some footage of my courgette soup coming up, but other than that, I will say goodbye for now. And I'm going to try and get myself re-energized, do some actual research for the next video, talk about another topic, and get back on track with it. I'll be back again soon. All right, take care. Bye-bye. Hi, so I'm in the kitchen and I'm going to make some courgette soup. So what I've done to start with, I've got some cashews soaking, because I'm going to make like a little cashew cream to put in it. Because you can use, it says, what does it say in the recipe? You can use plant milk or plant cream, or I just made that because it was easier, because I don't really have plant milk in the house. Anyway, let me just turn the camera down. You can see what I'm doing. Hold on a sec. So, first of all, I'm just checking that's working. Yes, it's working. So first of all, you're just gonna roast some courgettes. That's a half one there. I'm just gonna do them in the air fryer, actually, because it takes a bit less time. So I'm just gonna cut them up kind of into little slices. So I'm putting it into the air fryer in, one of those liners. So you basically roast these up. Now the original recipe had leek in, but I don't really like leeks. And onions and garlic. And again, I don't really eat onion and garlic because of my IBS, but I use spring onions instead, which are better for me. And then I'll use some garlic oil to replace actual garlic. And then I will be adding the, what are these things called? Spring onions, that's it. I'll be adding the spring onions in a wee bit as well to the mixture. I don't know if I need them all. I might just do, no, I'll do them all. I'll do them all. So what I do is I cut off the bottom bit, because if you're following a low FODMAP plan, loosely like I am, it's the greener bit is better for you in terms of, IBS, gut irritation. So I'm just going to quickly chop these up and then just give them a rinse, because they often have little mucky bits in them, don't they? The other ingredient in this is basil. You need quite a lot of basil. That gives it absolutely lovely, like a sweetness. We're going to put some nutritional yeast in, the cashews and frozen peas. So I'm going to get the frozen peas out now and just put them in a pan ready. So I've got some frozen peas in here, which is just going to sit there until I'm ready to add the other veg. And then you meant to put stock in. Now I don't usually use stock powder because it's kind of, I don't know, it's got often very weird ingredients in it, and it's got a lot of salt and stuff. I'm just going to turn the camera back up. Hold on. Let's just see if I can do this. There we go. Let's move you around and put you down a wee bit. Come on, Elsa, learn how to use this. So instead of doing stock, I'm just going to put my own little array of, I don't know, herbs and spices in. So I just chuck anything in. I'm just a bit, you know, a bit like devil may care with that really. So I'm just going to chuck this in the water, quite frankly, and then I'll heat it up together. A bit of cinnamon, because I put cinnamon in everything because it's my favourite flavour. A bit of cinnamon. Let's put a little bit of smoked paprika in, just a bit of, you know, a little bit of something spicy and smoky. Come on, paprika, come out of the thing. And then I'm going to put in some salt and pepper. Pepper and some salt, just a little bit. And then put some nutmeg. I always have to measure the nutmeg out just a tiny bit because I don't know about you, I find it's got a really odd taste. If you, I really can't take too much of it. It's I don't know, it's kind of soapy, isn't it? Sometimes I don't know what it is. And then let's put in. See, as you can see, I just grab whatever I've got in the cupboard. A bit of dried oregano. Just bang that in just for a laugh. What else have we got in here? I might put in, not those. What's the other thing I've got in here? Allspice. There we go. Ground allspice. Let's bang some of that in. Again, it's kind of warming, wintry, you know, that sort of thing. And then I usually put a little bit of tamari sauce. It's like just gluten-free soy sauce, basically. Just get a spoon, just put too much in. A little bit of this in it gives it that sort of umami taste, I believe is the phrase I'm looking for. I'll just put that in for now, and then I'll taste it once it's sort of got all the other bits in it, and we'll see how it's going. Yeah, I don't think I need. What else have we got in here that I might want to put in? Cumin? No, not really. That'll probably do. And then, as I say, what we'll do is once the courgettes are a bit more roasted, I'll throw the onions in there as well. And then when they're cooked, we'll come back, we'll put it all in the pan. Right, the courgettes and everything are done now, so I'm just going to add them to the pan with the peas and the spices, and I've actually put a bit of garlic oil in there now. Just pour these out of this little thing. I'd added the onions as well to the air fryer, so they did in about 15 minutes. They're kind of tender, a little bit browned. So I'm just going to sort of let that all mix together. It looks a bit peculiar at the minute because you've got all the brown from the spices and the soy sauce. But anyway, so that's going to mix together. And then I've also I've just blitzed up the cashews with some water and some nutritional yeast, which I'm going to add in a minute, which will give it a sort of a creaminess. And then we'll put the basil in at the end and blitz it all up. And it should be quite nice. There's not a lot of water in there at the minute because I'll probably add more water after I've blended it, just so there's not quite so much to put in the blender, to be honest. Yeah, so we'll be back in a minute, see what it looks like. And we're back. So I've basically I've gone ahead and blitzed it up and added the basil and the cashew cream, and look at that beautiful colour, isn't that lovely? So what I'm going to do now is heat it through. I've just got to tweak the seasonings a bit. I think it needs a little bit more, a bit more spice, maybe a bit more nutritional yeast, and then that will be a very delicious lunch. Thank you. So this is the final soup, and I've actually just put a few little bits of leftover baked tofu on top, just as a little sort of garnish, little something to go with it. Yeah, that's my lunch. Looks nice, I think. Okay, bye for now.